Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the May 5th, 2025 Palmetto State Baseball Podcast. This podcast is part of my coverage of college baseball in South Carolina. I offer schedules, scores, rankings, notes, and other news about all 33 teams in the state at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Well, it's 33 teams this year. It's going to be 32 next year, unfortunately. We'll talk more about that later. I also do a daily scores recap video on my YouTube channel. You can listen to or watch that if it's more convenient than calling up the post on the website and reading it. I also post on X under the handle of Palmetto Base. Email me at rudyjones@PalmettoStateBaseball.com or message me on X with criticisms or compliments or comments. What do I need to do better? If you like my coverage of college baseball in South Carolina, tell your baseball fan friends about it and ask them to check it out. All my coverage is free. The only income the site produces is from web clicks or ad clicks, and you don't have to do that if you don't want to. But again, with it being free, you're definitely going to get your money's worth. That's my guarantee. With no sponsor, I spend a little time each week telling you about Reedy River Baptist Church. That's where I serve the Lord. It's on US 25 between Travelers Rest and the Furman University Golf Course in Grenville County. Worship time is at 10:30 on Sunday mornings, and we're out usually by 11:30, 11:45 at the latest. Our worship style is a blend of hymns and praise songs, and our pastor, Josh Slatton, preaches the gospel of Jesus Christ. We have no official dress code. Some men wear jackets or suits. Others wear shirts and pants with sleeves, no jacket or anything. Some ladies wear dresses. Others wear pants. Just so it's tasteful and modest, we'll be glad to have you worship with us. Come check us out. For more information, like our ministries or other worship times or service times, visit reedyriverbc.org. Come check us out. I believe you will feel comfortable worshiping with us. A couple of things before we get to the on-field action. Looking back at last week, College of Charleston got a win over Georgia Southern, and that was the 450th win of Chad Holbrook's career. Chad won 200 games at South Carolina before he and the school parted ways, and then he's reached the 250 mark at the college with that win last week. He has since, of course, added a couple more wins in the weekend against William and Mary. Chad has always treated me well. We've never had a whole lot of one-on-one interactions. There was one year when he was coaching South Carolina, and I was covering the games for the state at the SEC tournament. He was nice to me then. The thing always struck me about Chad is I don't think he enjoyed the media part of things. I think he just wanted to coach baseball, but that's just me, and that's understandable. You know, he was never not nice to me, and we've messaged a few times on social media, and he's always been good to me, so I hope Chad does well. I can remember his dad, Eddie Holbrook, not only when he coached at Furman, covered a few Paladin games then, but also I can remember reading about Eddie when he was coaching at Gardner Webb when they had Artis Gilmore. Might be familiar with him. Now, on to the airing of grievances for this week. The Peach Belt Conference, after having its videos streamed for free all during the regular season, decided to start charging for its conference tournament games. Now, you think about it. Who's going to pay on a per-game basis to watch games? Probably going to be mostly the parents of the kids who are playing. Now, these are the same folks who shelled out a lot of money to help pay for their kid to go to school. Probably some may be on full ride, but I kind of doubt there are many. And the parents are spent a lot of money on helping their child to be where he is, and now the league is wanting to get some more money out of him. Hey, let the parents be able to watch it for free. I know the times are tough. People are trying to make all the revenue they can. I'd love to have more revenue for this website, but it just ain't going to happen. But anyway, I just think it looks kind of cheap on the Peach Belt Conference's part to charge for the conference tournament games. That's just me. So the South Atlantic Conference, they charge, but they charge for the whole year of the subscription. Conference Carolinas, there was free. There's free during the season and during the tournament. But anyway, you kids, get off my lawn. I'm through ranting right now. Now let's take a look back at the last week's action involving state teams. We won't do much in the midweek because there wasn't much there. South Carolina did get a midweek win over Charleston Southern, which, who knows, it could be their last win of the season. But anyway, on Friday down in Tallahassee, Clemson and Florida State began an ACC series. Seminoles won that game. Then in Game 2, Clemson was down 3-0 until the 8th inning. Tied the game at 3 and then got the go-ahead run to make 4-3. Then the rains came and they had to finish it up on Sunday. Clemson had a couple more runs on Sunday to win that with 6-5. And so that even the series, they're going for the series win on the second game, the scheduled Sunday game, and they promptly fell behind 10-0. Well, the Clemson fans who watched last year's series in Doug Kingsmore are thinking, well, it's not too bad, because Clemson fell behind big in those games, and they won them all three. So Clemson, or in a couple of those games here, they won them all three. So sure enough, Clemson came back. They got within 11-9, and then Florida State closed out with 9 more runs to win it by run rule. You just never know. But as it turns out, Florida State took the series 2-1, and it's probably going to be too much for Clemson to overtake. They're like 5 teams ahead of them in the conference standings now. I just don't think they can do it this late in the season. Only 2 weeks of conference play left. So they're just playing now for a seed to hopefully perhaps get to where they have the double bye as one of the top 4 finishes. Anyway, down in Columbia, South Carolina played Florida. They honored their 1975 College World Series team prior to the game against the Gators on Friday, and they were to honor the 2010 and 2011 teams as part of the Saturday game. Well, rain messed things up pretty much, but it is what it is. Gamecocks dropped the first game after a long rain delay on Friday night. They fell behind 1-0 in the Saturday game before we got suspended because of rain, so they had to move it up to Sunday as part of a doubleheader. And what happens then? The Gators wind up winning that game 22-3. Gamecocks, got plenty of base runners. They just never could get any much in the way of hits with people on base. And they also could not find people who could throw strikes or get people out. And when you can't get people out, there's a good chance you're not going to win the game. Florida scored 11 runs in the top of the 9th inning of that game. And I'm sitting here watching it thinking, well, in the sport of cricket, when a team gets what they think are all the runs they're going to need, they can declare that they've finished batting, let the other team come up. And I was wondering if Florida was going to try to claim that to finally get that 9th inning over. Well, as it turns out, they went on through and wound up winning, of course, 22-3. And they shut out the Gamecocks in the second game. Carolina is just in a mess right now. They're 26-23 and have 7 games left. They've got Auburn this coming weekend, 3 games. They got a game against Winthrop, who's playing well. They've won 6 straight. And the home series against LSU, and LSU is always tough, as you know. So the goal for the Gamecocks right now is not have a losing season. So they've got to win 3 more games, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 7 to make it a 29-27 record, and go from there. Can they win 3 of the last 7? I don't know. You tell me. They're going to have to start playing a lot better. Now, one thing I know, Carolina's been hurt by injuries. Ethan Petrie's not played in a while because of his AC joint injury. And on Saturday, they found out that, or actually Sunday, I guess it was, they found out that Bo Hollins was not going to be able to play because he had a hamstrings issue. And he's been one of their better hitters, and better, relatively speaking, during the SEC portion of the season. So, yes, they are hurting. But these kids are there to play baseball. Most of them have had very good ratings. But anyway, Carolina right now is not performing well in any phase of the game, except watching third strike sail by. But that's just me. Where things are going well is in Conway, where Coastal Carolina swept Appalachian State over the weekend. They've won 12 straight Sun Belt Conference games, but they cannot shake Southern Miss. They're only 2 games up on the Eagles with 2 weekends to go. They've also won 7 straight games overall. They're 37-11. Things are going very well. The Chanticleers are getting excellent pitching, both from the starters, Jacob Morrison, Cameron Fluke, and Riley Eichhoff, as well as the bullpen. They've got about 5 or 6 guys with an ERA of under 3, or under 4, excuse me. And, hey, any pitching staff in the country would love to have that kind of depth in the bullpen. Pardon me if you hear me taking a drink or hitting the cough button on occasion. I'm just dealing with some kind of crud. I've had it for about a week and a half now. But it is what it is. Thank you for enduring. College of Charleston won 2 of 3 in a Coastal Athletic Association series up at William & Mary. There was a couple of good wins up there for them. The Citadel won the first 2 games of its series at UNC Greensboro in the Southern Conference, both of them by 8-7 scores. But they lost this last game by a score of 18-3 in 7 innings. Wofford won the first 2 games of its series against Mercer and was leading late in the final game on Sunday before the Bears pulled away to win that game 10-8 and salvage the final game of the series. USC Upstate dropped the first game of its series against Longwood in the Big South Conference, and then the next two games they won with some really big offensive numbers. They're hitting the ball awfully well right now. On Saturday, Johnny Sweeney drove in 7 runs, and my mind is going blank. The young man, Preston Hughes, I believe it is. Let me look it up right quick as we're going through there. But he drove in 6 runs on Saturday and 6 more on Sunday. I apologize for not having this right in front of me. I've been trying to wing this so I don't have to spend as much time writing things out and then reading it, and it's just not been paying off for me. I'm still looking, but the young man, the Spartans as a whole are hitting very good. They're hitting like 311. They got 4 guys in double figures in home runs. Johnny Sweeney has, I believe it is 76 or 77 RBI right now. So, they're just really going well. Let's see if I remember the young man's name right. I believe it was Preston Hughes. And if my computer will ever call it up, we will find out all together. Preston Lucas. I apologize, Preston, for not having your last name right. But that's, the Spartans are hitting the ball right now. So that's boding well for them as they go down the stretch in the Big South Conference. They're within range of catching first-place High Point. Speaking of High Point, they won 3 games down at Presbyterian over the weekend. They got off to a really big lead in a couple of the games and then held on from there. One of them they actually won by run rule. Then we went to conference tournament action for several teams in NCAA Division II, NAIA, and junior college. In the Peach Belt Conference, they had 2 regionals. One was at, or 2 brackets, if you will. One is at Greenwood, one is at Dahlonega. Top 2 seeds in the regular season. Lander swept through its bracket, winning all 3 games. In the other bracket, North Georgia lost in its first round. They had to battle back out of the losers bracket. They did, and they forced a Monday game against Columbus State to determine who was going to play Lander. Well, the Nighthawks were up 9-3 going into the 9th inning. And what do you think happened? Columbus State scored 12 runs in the 9th. And they wound up winning that game 15-11. By virtue of that, that means that Lander's going to host the Peach Belt Conference Championship Series Thursday and Friday down at Dolney Stadium in Greenwood. Really a big surprise. When have you seen a team score 12 runs in the 9th to overtake a home team? But it can happen, and that's what did happen. Conference Carolinas played their tournament up in Gastonia, and it was a lot of action going on there. A lot of runs scored. North Greenville and Francis Marion were among the higher seeds, and they both went out relatively early. It came down to Belmont Abbey against Young Harris for the championship. Young Harris entered Monday's action unbeaten in the tournament, and Belmont Abbey beat them twice to win the Conference Carolinas automatic bid to the Division II playoffs. That'll be announced later this month. The South Atlantic Conference was similar to the Peach Belt in that they had 2 brackets at different sites. They had one at Hickory, had one at Salisbury, and the one at Hickory, Lenore Ryan sailed through that one. They won it. They were expected to, and so they advanced to the championship series. And then the other one, Catawba, wound up winning that one. They beat Limestone in the championship round 8-5. So Catawba and Lenore Ryan will play for the South Atlantic Conference Championship in a best-of-3 series. They're playing in Asheboro, North Carolina at McCrary Park. Asheboro, I may have said Asheville by mistake. Apologize about that. But Asheboro, North Carolina, best-of-3 series this weekend for the championship. With that loss on Sunday, that's the end of Limestone University baseball. The Saints, they fought hard. They played with a lot of intensity, I guess you will. They wanted to play as long as they could, and they wound up having a winning season. I think that's a credit to them, to their coaches and staff. They also made the postseason for the first time in over a decade. So it's sad that Limestone baseball is no more, but they went out. They can hold their heads high. They played hard. They were competitive, and they pushed the Catawba in that final game before they fell. Limestone had won a game earlier in the day against Coker. They were down 3-2 in the seventh inning. They tied it up. Then Sion Barnett hit a grand slam to put the Saints up in that game, and they wound up winning, and that allowed them to extend their baseball history by another few hours. The Region 10 tournament in junior college began in Lexington, and they're still going on right now. In fact, Florence Darlington Tech, which is the top seed and regular season champion, they are in Tuesday's championship round. They won their first two games. And on Monday, USC Union beat USC Sumter to eliminate them, and USC Union moved on to play Gaston College, the number 2 seed, which lost to Florence Darlington Tech on Sunday. And so Gaston College will play Florence Darlington Tech on Tuesday, Lexington County Baseball Stadium. Gaston College will need to win 2 games. FD Tech only needs to win 1. I don't think I said the fact that Gaston College wound up pulling away to beat Union for the right to go to the championship game. The winner of the Region 10 tournament, by the way, will be the host for the East District playoffs later this month, actually later this week. And the winner of the Eastern District advances to the Junior College World Series in Grand Junction, Colorado later this year. Also, the Continental Athletic Conference tournament was held down in Lawrenceville, Georgia. The host, Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies, won that tournament, 3 straight wins. Spartanburg Methodist went 1-2 in the tournament. They opened it up with a win over Florida National, then lost to Georgia Gwinnett and got beat by Fisher on Sunday. The Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference tournament, Benedict lost his first game, won its second game, then wound up losing in his third game to end its season with a 24-18 record. But it's a good year for the Tigers, the best record they've had in a while. Voorhees went 2-out in the HBCU Athletic Conference tournament over in North Little Rock, and Columbia International went 2-2. They fought out of the losers bracket to win a couple of games before falling in the on Friday. That was all the tournament action. I named Coastal Carolina the Palmetto State Baseball Team of the Week for April the 28th through May the 4th. They were 4-0 during the week, and as I said, they're on a 7-game winning streak. Clemson remained number 1 in my Palmetto State baseball rankings for Division I teams. I shook up the Division II rankings a little bit. Lander is playing well right now. I moved him up to number 1. North Greenville I moved down from number 2, and Francis Marion, who I had as number 2, I bumped down to number 3. Columbia International remained atop the rankings for the NAIA and National Christian College Athletic Association teams, and Florence Darlington Tech remained atop the junior college division. Now, on to the conference standings for the Division I teams. Of course, with the D2 and under through, no need to go through those standings again. In the ACC, Florida State is in first place with a 14-7 record. They are followed by NC State at 15-8, Georgia Tech and North Carolina both at 15-9. Miami's at 14-9, and Clemson is at 14-10. They're under tie with Duke, who they happen to play this weekend. That's a big series for the Tigers. In the SEC, Arkansas won 3 games over Texas last weekend to move within 2 games of the Longhorns. Texas is 19-5 in the conference. Arkansas is 17-7. Georgia and LSU are both 15-9, and then Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Alabama, and Vanderbilt 14-10. Alabama, Auburn, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss are 11-13. And way down at 15th place is South Carolina at 5-19. They are 5 games behind 3 teams tied for 12th place, And they are 5 games ahead of Missouri, which is in 16th place. So it looks like the Gamecocks are pretty much locked in to be the number 15 seed for the SEC tournament. And if you had forgotten the SEC tournament and the ACC tournament, they're going to let all 16 teams go to the tournament this year, and it will be single elimination. I'm not a big fan of single elimination tournaments, but it is what it is. In the Sun Belt Conference, Coastal Carolina has a 20-4 record. Southern Miss, as I mentioned, is 2 games back at 18-6. Troy's at 16-8. Louisiana's at 15-9. In the Southern Conference, East Tennessee State is 11-4. The Citadel and Sanford are tied for second at 9-6. Mercer's at 10-8. Greensboro's at 9-7. And Wofford is at 5-10, which is in 7th place. Only one game behind Western Carolina, who they happen to play. No, I'm sorry, they're not playing. Yeah, they do. No, they don't. Sorry. Again, I'm trying to wing it. I shouldn't try to wing it. In the Coastal Athletic Association, Northeastern is 19-2. The Huskies just continue to get outstanding pitching. They have a 6-game lead over William & Mary, so one more win and they'll definitely have the top seed for the tournament. William & Mary and UNCW are both at 13-8, tied for second. Elon is 12-9, Campbell's at 11-10, and then the College of Charleston and Delaware are at 10-11. I'm sure one of the things the Cougars want to do is finish with a winning conference record. In the Big South Conference, High Point has a 14-4 record in the conference. USC Upstate's only one game back at 13-5. 3 games back is Winthrop. Charleston Southern is at 10-8, tied with Radford. And then Presbyterian, even for the miseries he's had lately, they're at 9-12 in the conference, and they've still got a shot at a winning record in the conference if they can get things turned around a little bit. So, on to this week. Not a whole lot of midweek action, but there was some action on Monday. Bob Jones is in the National Christian College Athletic Association's South Region. They're one of 5 teams playing in that tournament. They got off to a 5-1 lead over Southeastern Baptist. This tournament's being played in Oakland Park, Florida. And then the rains came and came and came and came and stayed. And unlike many times down in Florida when it rains real hard for a while and then it clears off and it's sunny, apparently the rain never cleared up, so they had to suspend all the action from Monday until Tuesday and then play the rest of the schedule on Tuesday, as it turns out, the rest of Monday's schedule on Tuesday. So Bob Jones is in the 3rd inning of its game with Southeastern Baptist leading 5-1. It will be resumed at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, then followed by the other games. Bob Jones will play again on Tuesday, win or lose, weather permitting. Well, how about other things that are going on? On Tuesday, we've got Clemson playing Coastal Carolina. That ought to be a big one down in Conway. They've already sold out with that. Coastal beat the Tigers up in Clemson earlier this year, so I know they'd like to get a season sweep. Clemson, I know, would like to get some momentum back for the weekend in ACC play. I know the Tigers were not thrilled to go 1-2 in the conference. And one thing I've neglected to mention, Cam Canarella made another couple of outstanding plays in the weekend series at Florida State. And, of course, he makes so many, it's more news when he doesn't make an amazing play. But it is what it is, and he's doing well. The Tigers would like to see some more big plays at Coastal on Tuesday night. Also on Tuesday, Presbyterian is at Wofford, and the Citadel is at College of Charleston. On Wednesday, Winthrop travels down to the Citadel. They've had some time off. The Eagles are sitting on a 6-game winning streak. Presbyterian is at Western Carolina, and USC Upstate is at Georgia State. A couple of series for Division I teams start on Thursday this week. Auburn is at home against South Carolina for a series beginning on Thursday. And as you know, the Gamecocks' luck, nothing's going well for them. They're going to be facing an Auburn team that just won 2 of 3 at Tennessee. Coastal has a series against Louisiana Monroe. The Warhawks are in last place in the are way down in the Sun Belt Conference standings. So it's one that you would expect the Chanticleers to win, but you just never know. As I mentioned, the Region 10 tournament concludes on Tuesday, followed by the East District of the Junior College Playoffs on the weekend, Friday. How about for the weekend for other Division I teams? Duke, as I mentioned, is at Clemson, a big series for the Tigers. The Citadel is at Western Carolina, trying to keep going in the SoCon, keep doing well. Wofford has a tough test at Southern Conference leader East Tennessee State. College of Charleston is at North Carolina A&T. Presbyterian and USC Upstate get together in Spartanburg. UNC Asheville is at Charleston Southern, and Winthrop is at Radford. The entire state schedule, including times, is always available on the calendar at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. If you enjoy my coverage of college baseball, including this podcast, what I write, and the videos I have, please let me know at Rudy Jones at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Tell your baseball fan friends about this website and ask them to check it out. Even get them to listen to the podcast to get an idea of what's going on. Also, let me know what you think I could do better. I submit baseball is the greatest sport God ever allowed to be invented, and I want my coverage to be as best as it can be. Again, contact me at rudyjones@palmettostatebaseball.com. As a reminder, I invite you to come worship with me at Reed River Baptist Church, US 25 bypass between Travelers Rest and the Furman University Golf Course in the Greenville area. Worship time is at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. I hope you will discover that we are a friendly church. We'll want to worship with us regularly. Learn more about our church and ministries at reedriverbc.org. Thanks again for listening to the May 5th, 2025 episode of the Palmetto State Baseball Podcast. This is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com saying, it's a beautiful day for baseball. Let's play too.